Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will break down the exact steps that I took to overcome my addiction to weed, the exact steps I used to get myself back on track, because over the past 5 years, I've really not been in a great mental place, if I'm being honest with you. And most of that was due to addiction, but most of it was also due to seeing life in a very different way. And I want to break it down to you in this video today. And I'll start simply by the addiction itself, right? I'm not going to waste any time. I smoked weed, give or take, every day for the past 5 years, right? And then there was times where I had like a week off there, a month off there, but for the most part, it was every day. And um, I used it as a way to escape. I used it as a way to stop really dealing with the things I was going through in my life. I had some, friends had come and gone. I had changes in career. I had changes in things I wanted to do in life. And then, you couple that with a pandemic and all that stuff. But the weed itself, so let me start by telling you what it did to me, because that was the biggest problem, was what it did to me. It made me really crave quick dopamine hits. It made me crave just just more weed, to be honest, and it stopped me wanting to live my life. Thank God, a lot of things still stuck around, like my girlfriend, my family, because I just wanted to be alone most of the time. Never really wanted to go out, never really wanted to see friends, although friends were asking it. Hell, I even ignored a lot of those friends, right? And it just made me not want to live life in general, actually. It made me feel like um, that from one spliff or one pen or one edible, that I could feel fucking great, to be honest. And it did. It made me feel absolutely phenomenal, right? Like, it made me feel so freaking good. But there was one problem with that. The problem is it was a short term thinking, right? Like, it was a short term gain. And that short term, I'll say, that short term thinking led me to, what is it they say? You can experience the highest of the highs, that everything that goes up must come down. So every single day was done, I was up here, and obviously I would just smoke all day and I would stay up here. But I wouldn't want to do anything, right? Because I would just want to smoke more, and it consumed my entire freaking life, man. And it's funny because up until the time I started smoking, right, I avoided weed like I would have avoided any other drug, including like nicotine. The only other thing I've really ever had is alcohol, but I don't really have that ever, and I was never really addicted to it. In fact, I was never addicted to it, full stop. But one thing that we did for me was it did make me feel more relaxed. It felt like it drove my anxiety down, but again, it was the highest of the high and the lowest of the low, right? So, anyways, point being, if you are having weed, and I've no doubt it benefits some people, right? Like people that are in a lot of pain, right? Like I know some people who have went through really bad injuries, and the weed helps the pain. But for me, it just makes me overthink. It just makes me want to be alone, and it really just actually, another thing. It actually makes me, like a lot of people, it makes you get the munches. It made me gain a lot of weight. It made me not value working hard, right? And actually having that thing called delayed gratification, right? Like you work hard at something for a long enough period of time and it pays off. But with weed, it's a quick fix, right? It's a quick hit. It's a quick, you know, hey, smoke this thing and you'll feel great, right? And that's pretty much what I did. Right? It's all I did. And there's a lot of people that will see this video, quite frankly, that have no idea about this. But I think, I would make up these excuses, right? And it would be like, well, if I have this, it makes me be able to concentrate more. It never made me concentrate more. Like short term, for 1 hour, I would get something done, but then for the rest of the day, I couldn't do shit. So yeah, for a short, small window, it would work, but then it wouldn't, right? And that was the biggest thing. So what happened is I tried to come off weed so many times, right? More times than I care to count. And a good buddy of mine was kind of going through a similar thing at the same time. Won't mention his name or anything. But we talked about it. We even quit it together. We talked about it. We got back on it together. Like, there was a lot of influence between us both. Like, say I was not having it, he would have it, and then he would be like, yeah, this is pretty good, man. You should have some of this. And then I would have some, and then, hey, we're back in the cycle. And then I would tell myself things like, well, if I just have it at night, or if I just have it on the weekends, or if I just have it at certain times, or even for a celebration, right? It never worked. It never ever worked for me, right? I guess I got addictive personality or something, but it never worked, right? So, I wanted to make this video because I finally, I believe, wanted to become accountable to myself, right? Wanted to be accountable for my life, and there was businesses I tried to start. There was, clients that I had, jobs that I had, and I'm not, um, you know, happy or proud to say this, but weed was involved every day, right? It was involved every single day. So whenever I was doing work for any of those people that was involved, they would never have seen it, obviously, that it was involved. And I'm coming on here to make this video because I think a lot of people go through this and they go through these cycles and they don't have anyone to talk about it with, and they're ashamed because, deep down I've been ashamed as well, to be honest. I've been very ashamed. I've been very ashamed of my addiction, so much so I've not told a lot of people about it. But something clicked recently. And this is not like any other time where I've tried to quit weed. Because I finally realized that if I don't take accountability for my life, then all the stuff that was good that's already gone because, I either didn't stopped hanging out with friends, stopped doing hobbies that I had, stopped finding enjoyment in the smallest things like cooking a nice meal or something like that. Like, if I don't stop doing this thing, I'm going to ruin my life, right? Because even the people closest to me will leave. And I wouldn't even blame them, right? So, I am not sober for long, right? I only stopped maybe like 5 days ago. In fact, it's Wednesday today. Um, Wednesday, May 28th. You're going to see this video today or tomorrow anyways, when it goes up. But May 28th, right? I stopped on May 23rd, last week. And I will continue documenting that journey on this channel. But this is why I'm done this time. It's because every single time I'm on it, I'd explain to you the feelings and the things that happened. But the minute I come off it, I feel clearer, sharper, more determined, more motivated. I feel more zoned in, more focused. Um, and it just makes me feel better not being on it, right? I don't overthink everything. I become more confident in myself because I'm not going against my values. There's a reason all those years that I didn't have weed, right? And the reason I never had weed all those years was because I feel like I knew that if I had this thing, I'm gonna keep having it. And I did. But this time I'm done. And I'm gonna give you guys an update on this channel, like, as and when I can. And I'm gonna document some of my new business ventures and things on here as well. But I wanna be transparent, right? And I don't even care if it's a client or a potential client or a potential employer or whatever that's on here. Like, we all go through this stuff, and I just want to make sure that I'm good. And I looked at quitting weed as getting rid of something, right? But I think that was the wrong way of looking at it. I think quitting weed is obviously happening, right, for the past 5 days or so. But one of the big things that I feel is different this time is I'm not looking at getting rid of something, I'm looking at replacing it with something else. And in my mind, I've told myself I'm replacing it with exercise. Because, dude, I'm not even joking. I would wake up in the morning and I would smoke. Like, as quickly as you'd have your morning coffee is as quick as I had a smoke, right? So I am telling you right now, I'm done with it for good. I'm never going back to that. And I'm replacing it with exercise. I'm replacing it with eating well. I'm prioritizing it with work that I want to do to help people. I'm a personal trainer, right? Like, I'm a qualified personal trainer. And I want to help people that get into fitness and realize that fitness is for everybody, and there's always something out there for everybody. So that's one of the big goals. And also, I want to, expand my career in tech, running my own business around the AI space, which I'll get into further on this channel. But anyway, all this to say, if you're going through this, know that you're not alone. And know that you're on a journey. And I was on a journey for many years, right? And I know people who have smoked weed for 10 years, 15 years, right? But I'm just done with it now. I want to have that thirst for life again. When I first moved to Canada in 2016, for the first 4 years, I was thirsty for life. I tried new things. I met new people. I did different events. I tried improv. I did wrestling. I played football. I hung out with friends. I went to bars. I did these things that were honestly amazing. And I met some amazing people. And I want to have that back again. The only difference is now is I'm older. So, got the bald spot going on and stuff. But, I want to start doing more things. And I think that rather than chasing a pen or a joint or whatever, I am actually like chasing life, right? Like going outside for a walk, going outside with friends, doing sports, doing other things, right? And I just don't want to get to the point where I'm back in that cycle again. So anyway, all this to say, you're not alone. This is my journey. It's unique to me. The reason this is, done for good this time is because this was the first time that I realised that this is completely on me and no one's coming to save me. And I want to capitalize on this really important time in history, in my opinion, with technology in general, I had to be on it all. And thank God I've got like some crypto investments as well. Like I had to be sharper then, with the current market cycle and where that's going. So there's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of things that are happening that they're just gonna happen to me rather than happen for me if and still under the influence of weed. So anyway, this was my journey. This is what I've been going through, and I want to say to everybody that don't be ashamed of yourself. You can make that change today, just like I decided to make the change too. And as we document our journeys, we can share it with other people so other people can get the help that they need as well. Not help in the sense of knowing they're not alone, right? Like knowing these are the things I